is interesting. Our next performer, this next comedian has chosen not to actually do comedy tonight, but instead he's going to use his 3 minutes, his time on stage to get your advice on how to escape from his parents' basement. Give it up for Josh Rachlis. Josh!
Oh, Josh!
Woo!
Oh, Josh!
All right. So how's everyone doing tonight?
Oh, Josh.
No, wait, don't answer. I don't have time for...
I can't believe you said that. Josh, oh my God.
You're right. I shouldn't have said this. I don't have time for bantering because I need your help escaping. I know this fake Zoom background makes it look like I live in a comedy club, but I actually live in my parents' basement, and I want to run some escape plans by you because I've been asking people on Facebook, you know, what do I do? And they just say, well, why don't you like get a job and get an apartment? But I don't want those things because jobs are hard and apartments are lonely. So that's why last year I left my job and I sold my condo so I could be free to travel and meet a wife. But then the pandemic started, which was God's way of saying, women don't want to talk to you. Could you please leave them alone? So now I am trapped here in my parents' basement, and my captors are especially cruel because they keep giving me like a false sense of hope by saying things like, when are you moving out? Or we'd be fine without you, or no, seriously, we'll pay you to leave. But it's not that simple because I want to live in a place where I don't feel lonely. And when you're young, you can live in university residence and be surrounded by friends. But when you're middle-aged, you're supposed to have a spouse and kids to keep you company, which I don't have. So my first plan is I've been trying to find a wife, and I find this would be like the most efficient way of solving my problems because a wife can keep me company, and also usually women come with a home. So not all of them.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, thanks. Haven't met one yet, but I'm working on it, and that's why this summer a speed dating company was messaging me. I'm on their mailing list, and they kept saying, we need more men. We're desperate for men for our Zoom speed dating. So I figured, okay, great. The women are desperate for men. I'll get so many women. And I wound up being chosen by no women. And normally I would think, obviously,
Oh my God.
it's my looks. You know, this would be the problem. But at the end of the speed dating, they put it on gallery view like this. And I was like, what, all these guys are old and bald. Like, what is the problem here? So I asked a dating coach, and she said, yeah, maybe don't tell the women that you live in your parents' basement. You don't need to tell everything. So I thought, okay. But then I realized when you live in your parents' basement, that is everything. There's not like, oh, I'm a neurosurgeon, and I have parties on my yacht on the weekend, and then at night I sleep on my parents' old couch in the basement. So I've realized the best place to live would be a prison because I live with lots of other people. There's social activities like movie nights. I'd get to have sex. It would be just like university.
My God.
Yes, fantastic. The only downside is that people in prison, they kill each other. But my plan is I would just, when I show up, I would be like, guys, let's just all agree to stop the stabbing, and then we'll all be basically living in paradise. But to get into prison, I guess you have to murder someone, and that seems like a lot of work. So I've got a couple of other options. I was very lucky that when I was taking out the garbage, I found some flyers in my parents' recycling bin. And let's see, we've got some options here. I could go back to school. This is a booklet called Canada's Private School Guide. Look how much fun they're having in boarding school. This looks like a lot of fun. But I think that one big problem with me enrolling in boarding school would be that learning is hard. And also I'm probably too old. But I'm not too old for a retirement home. Look at this. Life is better together. Look how much fun they're having. Oh my gosh, they have their meals made for them. Where's the chef? Look at this chef. Oh, they've got social activities. They get driven to places. Look, they're on a bus. And I told my mom about this last night at dinner, and she said, well, that's what you get here. And over there, you'd have to pay like $3,000 a month for it. And I was like, yeah, but in a retirement home, I'd have friends. And my dad said, well, in prison, you'd have a girlfriend. And my mom said, don't say that. That's disgusting. And then they were both like, are you going to mention us in your comedy show? Don't mention us. But are you going to mention us? And okay, and here's a funny story. because the end of this bit was supposed to be, and now they're watching upstairs on their computer. So I guess this is like a group activity. And so maybe I should just stay here. But you'll notice they're not actually watching. I asked my dad just before this, I said, are you gonna watch the show? He's like, can you just like record it and we'll watch your part later? I'm like, oh, Jesus. So maybe screw that. Maybe I'm going to move out anyways. And then I'll come up with a new ending for this bit. So that's my time for now. Anybody want to banter?